Alright, so here's the prototype of the armor. It's just overlapping, kind of like a lobster armor, kind of. I can't bend it too much because it's only held on by tape, right? But here's just the prototype, just to show you guys an idea what it looks like, right? I can move, right? It rotates with me, right? And since it's overlapping, and I can, it's gonna be flexible, right? I have not made the shoulder armor. As you can see, my shoulder is quite exposed, and so is my nipple, but that's okay. But here's the bracer, I guess you can call it. Here's the bracer. This is just an idea how it looks. I think this will be great, honestly. It should be good. Alright, so here's the piece of prototype armor I made. Because I want to make some armor. Yeah, I don't know what's the name of it. Braces, I guess? I don't know. So here's some 16 gauge steel. Now you guys have an idea how it would look, except it's cardboard. It bends, obviously, but it doesn't really stay bent. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to take a piece of my prototype, which if you guys were wondering, this is what it looks like from underneath. It's one strip of tape, which is going to be leather. I'm going to take it off, and I'm going to draw it out, the template throughout the steel, and then I'm gonna just cut it out. So here's the pieces I have marked out for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 9, right? And this is how it's all marked out. It's just a bunch of squares, really. And I got a ruler to make it as straight as possible, right? And I'm just gonna get an angle grinder and cut off all these pieces. Hey guys, so I'm just gonna explain real quick because I don't have the footage to show you. What I did was I got a Walmart belt that was only $7. I sliced off the leather strip, and it's actually that leather strip you're seeing I'm using is actually from when I made that shield. It's just some leftover Walmart steel leather, and then you see me puncture a little dot, a little dent into the leather belt so I can mark it, and then I drilled it, and now I just put the nail, the roofing nail, through the leather into the steel. So that's really all I did, nothing fancy there. Hey, it's Austin again. So what you seeing me do is wrap this another piece of leather belt from Walmart for $7 around my forearm, and I made sure it was partly loose. The reason why you want it loose is for when you put on the jacket, it's not too tight. Well, you know, it's hard to put on, and it's more comfortable to wear a jacket with sleeves. So make sure you guys keep that in mind. Hey, so another thing is, do not use roofing nails, these small nails, when you stack leather and steel, because the roofing nails are way too small to turn into rivets. If you don't believe me, you can try yourself, maybe it'll work for you. But for my situation, it did not work at all. If I were you, I would recommend using 3-inch nails, so you have plenty of room to make a rivet out of it, you know? And I explain it more later in the video, so. At this point, you're seeing me put on a full leather belt, unaltered at the moment, and I'll put it around my body, and you see how far it can go, and then once I can see how far it can close on my body, I will mark it, and I will, as you see, drill a hole into it, and you'll see later why I drilled a hole right there. It's always important to put on your armor, even if you don't permanently make a solution to, like, as in like riveting it together and stuff. Always move around in it, because then you'll realize you might have made a mistake, as you can see here. Now, this is why it's important to wear your armor every here and there and move around it, because you will learn things that will show you if you made a mistake or you need to improve or adjust things. For example, I feel like the length of the strip that's attached along my arm is too long. I felt like it was a bit too loose around my arm, so I eventually slimmed it down, cut off like an inch or two to make it be less long, I guess you can say, on my arm. And yeah. So at this point, I decided from moving my arm around that it'd be more stable if I added another strip. Not only that it will make, well, adding another strip will make my armor more stable to move around in and won't swing as much, it will give me more room so I can add in another set of armor, which is, as you can see, a shoulder piece, or what I believe is called a Segmentata, like Centurion Roman shoulder armor. I guess it's called a Segmentata or something like that. If I'm, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, alright?
They say that age kills the fire inside of a man. That he hears death coming. He opens the door and says, "Come in." You see that? That is a pack of lies. I got enough fight in me to devour the world. So, I fight.
So, ever since I put on the second strap, if you look closely, there's 2 straps that goes around the arm, one here and one right here. The second strap, on the videos you saw, I riveted it with just by 2 pieces of leather, but that was a mistake. I used this during sparring today. I didn't record the footage today because I recorded a lot of sparring footage of me with my friends with weapons, so no reason to record another one. Although it would have been interesting because I'm using this, but it wouldn't be a big deal. So I noticed that this strap actually kept popping out because due to the leather in the hole, it can stretch out and close again, you know, because that's what leather does. Because it's a fabric, it moves, you know. If you put a hole here, it wouldn't stay solid. Anything can go through it in and out because it's flexible, right? So what I did was we made a tiny little metal oval button right here, and I taught my friend how to make a little metal button, right? So now this won't fall off, because before this top piece would pop through the leather, but now since I have a piece of steel, it will not pop out, simply because, well, unlike leather or fabric, it doesn't really stretch out and close. It's steel, it's solid, so it won't pop out. So now that fixed the solution. If you guys end up doing the same thing, I recommend putting a little steel button right here so it doesn't pop out, and it can still pivot. And I'll tell you right now, it will not pop out from this end, only from this end, you know. So try to definitely put a metal button right here. So at this point, I'll be showing you guys how I put on the armor and how I'm going to be moving around in the armor. If you guys have any more suggestions or recommendations on what to build next, you can always comment in my videos. And just tell me what you think of the armor, if I needed to improve on anything, guys. I always enjoy when you guys comment and give me feedback. And even if you don't have any feedback on what I did, just give me a good job or something, you know? So now this is what the armor looks like. As you can see, it wiggles not as very much anymore, right? I don't know if you saw me put on the armor earlier in the video, but it was pretty loose. But now that I'm wearing a thicker jacket, this thing does not wiggle as much. And I have full range of motion, right? I can lift up, lift down. I can reach to the side if I needed to, right? I can reach behind me, in front of me, make a circle, go sideways, right? Go behind me, right? Scratch my back. And then I can obviously reach in front of me. And this works pretty dang well. It kind of wiggles a little bit to the side, I noticed, but it's not too much of a big deal. Let's say you have a shield and stick, right? You can have this in front of you, and when you bring this up, notice how this protects my entire arm, right? When I'm in front of you, the only thing you can really aim for is my legs or my head, right? But my arm is pretty damn protected. Or when if I hang it right here or right here, but once I'm right here, you can possibly get this side, right? But that's kind of hard. You have to like strike it pretty well, right? This is what it looks like from a side angle. You could possibly get the side of my arm, but the chances of that is pretty damn low, right? And then when I have my guard up, all of this is protected, right? So, I don't know. In my opinion, I think I did a great job, right? I can strike up to the side, strike, make X's, right? Go to the side from here, and do what I need. I have full range of motion, and my shoulder is protected. And I can tell you right now, when I was sparring with my friend, he kind of struggled. When I used the spear or a gladius, and I did it right here or right here, he really wanted to aim for my legs because I was wearing a helmet. My left arm is protected. All he had to go for was my legs. And once I make greaves, it's gonna be pretty damn difficult. Now, that was pretty nice, but when I have, let's say if I had my bow staff, right? When I put it like this, right? My entire right arm is very exposed, and I'm a left-handed person. That's why I hold it like this. If I was right-handed, the shield would be on my left hand, and use my dominant hand for swinging. But you know, I'm left-handed, so obviously this was armored. But when I use a bow staff, and this is long, like this, right? I mean, this is still protected, but this arm is always gonna get smashed. So I might make some gloves for my next video, maybe. Or make a different arm piece. I would definitely not make a second version of this on this side, because this was very time consuming and annoying. So I would definitely not do that again, right? But hell, this thing was perfect, right? Absolutely amazing. I'm actually impressed I made this. But definitely, there are some minor mistakes I would fix, like, well, for example, this rivet, there was 2 rivets here and it popped off because I was using roofing nails for this one. If I need a longer nail, I should use my 3-inch nails, but when it's only 1 piece of leather and 1 piece of strip like this, then I'd say with roofing nails. But when you're stacking leather on top of each other and then putting steel, like, let's say this, or the joint, I definitely recommend using a 3-inch nail. When you stack 2 pieces of leather and a steel, I recommend using something like this. This is a 3-inch nail. Now, if you're only using 1 piece of leather and 1 piece of steel, I'd use this roofing nail. Now, the reason why I discovered you should use 3-inch nails for when you're stacking more, it's not only because this is longer, but when you try using this, if you look closely here, it's gonna be hard. Where is it? Right here. You see that? 1 piece fell out, right? You can't flatten the rivet enough where it won't pop out. When you pound it in and it becomes flat, it won't be flat enough because this top is already thin enough. Now when you use something like this, right? Now this is pretty damn thick, right? You will make a rivet out of this. So I recommend this, but when you try trimming it to the thicker side and then pounding it, it just won't be long enough for this because you're stacking so much. So definitely use this when you're stacking a lot of things together. And these are the same diameters. This will fit in the same hole this will, right? This is not any thicker than this is, so you can use the same drill bit, right? I think that's all I need to explain. I was originally, if you want to go over the top, you can put chainmail underneath. Now that's fancy smancy. That's like really fancy. I personally won't do that because I just don't care enough, and I don't ever get striped underneath. It's very rare for that to happen, right? I mean, it can happen, but the chances of that happening is very low, right? Another thing I made a mistake on is this 3rd piece of steel is where the strap is. This strap is connected to this 3rd piece of steel. Now, if you were to replicate this, I'd probably recommend making the strap go on the first one, because notice how this is a piece of flap and it's kind of annoying. But what you can also do is when you make a gauntlet, is strap this to the gauntlet so it will stick to you. But it'd be nicer if this piece was, actually hugging me, right? But since this piece is just flapping, it gets annoying a little bit. So that's a definitely thing I'd fix. But yeah, making this 2nd piece of strip of leather definitely helped, right? Because it's a lot less flappy before. This piece would like kind of flap around more, but this extra piece right here helps a lot controlling it together, and it keeps this from flapping away too, right? Because this is attached to this. That's important. And I'm pretty lucky. Now this is 2 pieces of leather stacked up, but luckily it has not popped out because I flattened the rivet so much that it's way too big for the hole to come out, right? But if it were to happen, I definitely would recommend putting a piece of steel here, right? And if you're using like actual metal, like swords, blunt, you can really damage the leather. So you could armor it this by putting a square piece of steel, just like how I did with the back over here. You can't see it because this piece of steel is covering it, right? But it's that button. You can do the same thing here if you wanted to. Now for wood, we use a lot of wooden weapons. Like I use the bow staff. He uses either his wooden longsword, where the pommel broke, so now it's an army sword. And he uses his wooden sword, or my wooden bow staff, or the kendo sticks, right? This works. I mean, he hasn't hit me here, but there's no point. Why would he strike here if it's armored, right? But I can imagine being struck here. I can tell you that doesn't hurt. Here, let me try to hit harder. Now that kind of stunned, but that was my elbow. It hit my funny bone. So let's say if I hit my forearm. Now I have to hit really hard if I want it to hurt me. Same thing here. Now this is way thicker, and since it's the way it's shaped, how it's aiming down, it's a lot harder. I mean, it hurts my ears. It's ringing my ears. But other than that, this is pretty damn armored. Now, what I recommend using something like this against blunt steel weapons, if you're like into HEMA and stuff, I would not probably recommend it. And if you do use it, you'd probably need way more armor on the underneath, because then there's, although I said it's pretty difficult to have this be struck, but if it does happen, it's gonna hurt a lot if it's blunt. So I do recommend using chainmail or something underneath. But just this and this alone, I mean, it's better than bare skin. But at that point, just buy a HEMA suit or something. Don't rely on this piece of steel, like this 60H piece of steel, to protect you. So, but these are just my opinions and my thoughts. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Comment in videos, man. You guys gotta comment my videos and give me ideas. I'm starting to run out. All I can think about is a gauntlet. Maybe I'll do a chest piece, but I don't know. I'm liking this gladiator look, But who knows? If you guys got any ideas or any better methods, please comment below, or just tell me what you think of my videos. And make sure you guys like the videos. I really am trying to make YouTube into a career, so it really does help when you guys share my videos, like my videos, or anything. Just support the channel, man. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. And peace. Oh yeah, and if you guys were just in case you guys were wondering, if you were wondering how to keep this from rusting, either use linseed oil, right, and just rub it on, or WD-40, just so your steel armor doesn't start rusting, right? Just in case you guys were wondering. Bye bye.
more.